It's beginning to look a lot like debate amongst friends. Soon, John Gotti will speak. Doc Leesner is a beast. John Gotti is the best damn podcast machine. That's right. Debate amongst friends, Friday edition. It's Friday, ladies and gentlemen, and a Buccaneer victory. Buccaneer Friday. That's right. I did it. I said it. We won it. This is Doc Lee's in the podcasting beast from the East. Right there. The Professor John Gotti, the King of Barnes, the Troll Master of the Data Analyzing. That's right. The Terminator. Yes. Yes. Sweeping those trash thrown on that field after that game. That's right. It's the cleaner.
I'm also the conciliatory for my tribal chief, Doc L.E.
Oh, Dr. Elo. That's a good one. That's a good one. But Johnny, all Chiefs aside, we had a game last night.
We did.
Uh,
We did. How dare the Eagles mess up my point total by 25?
no, yeah. Well, the Bucs was also supposed to score 35.
They could
Um,
have, but they
they
decided to
should
be,
have.
sportsmanlike at the end of the game. So I can't get
Yeah,
mad at that.
they should have. Yeah, it was a pretty good game. I was just mentioning right before the show that the offensive line did very, very well. This is probably one of the better games. I mean, they were really, really handling and dominating the line of scrimmage. We saw the first glimpse of hope of a future of this guy behind me, OJ, the Juice Man Howard.
And how apropos that we were
Really apropos.
just talking about him
I
this
mean,
week.
just talking about him. I mean, it was almost like he
They
heard
were
the
listening
show.
on the show. Exactly.
Yeah, it's so
I
crazy
know
how
people
that
people
works.
think that we say that in a satirical way, but every single time we talk about a player, they show out the very next game. It's like clockwork.
Right. No, it's true. It's damn true. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what in the world is really happening? Because like I know I listened to Byron Leftwich and he talks about how, hey, I don't worry about the plays we make. We expect to make those plays, but the plays that we don't make, that's what really bothers me. And I get it, I get it wholeheartedly. Because there were a lot of plays where like that 4th and 2, that's the part that really bothered me. Like, we went for like a corner route, 60, 20 yards down the field and just instead of just trying to punch it in there to get the first down with a screen or something that's been working all night.
Yep.
But flipping over to the other side of the ball, the defense played pretty well. Third quarter they gave up,
They
some big
played
plays.
manageable.
Can I be honest? And I mean, I know I'm gonna sound like a homer on this one, a
Sure.
fanboy, right? There was a lot of holding that was not called, and when they put it in slow motion, it only made it worse as I pull the guns out, right? Um, there was a lot of holding,
Doc, you
and
gotta be careful, man. Delete might give you a random dress testing because you put those guns out there.
oh my god, guns out, guns out. But no, yeah, there was a lot of holding. JPP was held a few times. I know I saw Vita Vea was held, and then they put it in slow motion and it makes it worse. And the ref standing there, and I'm just like, throw the flag! You gotta throw that flag! And of course, no flags were thrown. Um, but that's neither here nor there. You can't let the refs, decide the game. So I'm glad we didn't have to leave it in their hands. But Jalen Hurts in third quarter showed, why he's the Eagles starting quarterback. I think once he gets to a position where he does what he did in the third quarter for 4 quarters,
Yep.
I think the Eagles will be a very dangerous team.
I actually 100% agree with you, actually.
Yeah, they'll be very dangerous. I think it'll be interesting to see how they grow from this. Like, I mean, they really, really grew. Obviously, there was some injuries again on the Bucks, right? Richard Sherman went
Sherman.
down.
Yep.
Obviously Levante wasn't playing. We had freaking Ross Cockrell out there dropping easy interceptions. Um, one person I am pretty impressed with, and I know we can kind of move on. Jamel Dean, last week, I know he got a pick last week and he got a pick last night. It was funny because his goal is only to get 5 interceptions, which is a pretty good goal for a corner to have. You don't get balls thrown to you. And yesterday he was like, "Oh, you know what? That's 2 out of 5."
Yeah.
And you know what? I was like really, really impressed. With his confidence and his. I mean, because last year he was getting his buns toasted. I mean, it was straight Quiznos out here, toasted buns all night long, all
I think that was the
night.
first Quiznos reference we ever made on the show, folks.
Yeah, it's very true. Who goes to Quiznos, right?
But I mean,
But
this what happens where you're going season to season. Like you're going to
right,
get better. You're
and
going to
you're
learn from what occurred from your first year.
right, and who? I mean, how many people can say they got to pick six on Aaron Rodgers, right? Like how many people can really say that? Not too many.
Nope.
And also, I mean, to go from again, which I didn't agree with, to go from the third corner to now being forced to play, the number one corner due to injuries. This is great and a great opportunity for him to grow. And then you got Richard Sherman over there who's going to help him get better.
Of
I
course.
like that. But really quickly here, before we move on to the next topic here, Jarvis Landry officially moved to injured reserve or moved off of injured reserve. And the team has 21 days to put him on the active roster. So that's going to be good for the Browns getting Jarvis Landry back. I'm interested to see what the Bucs do. Obviously, with Richard Sherman, do they bring in another corner? Do they, bring up somebody from the practice squad? We'll have to wait and see. But at least we have time before the next game.
This is
But
true.
Johnny, what direction shall we go? Should we give our predictions first before we move into the QB index? Should we give the QB index? Like, how
Let's
should we
knock
do
out the
this?
QB index first.
Let's knock out the QB index.
That way we
Numero
can do our predictions immediately after that.
numero uno, right? And this is without last night's game,
Of
right?
course.
I love. I never even paid attention to it. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, year 22. Yikes. Tom Brady, number one, moving up from number three, 15 passing touchdowns,
Moving up
two
for number
interceptions.
4.
Oh, moving up 3 slots, excuse me. Back to number one. Obviously, 400 yards and a touchdown, 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Obviously, dominant performance, well deserved. That's just one I would say it's not just because he's 44, right? Number two, Justin, my man, Herbert, out here just balling out of control. 1576, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Obviously, big win over the Browns. So yeah, I mean, you just can't, like I said, instant classic, right? And we've been praising Justin Herbert all season long. Um, Obviously, if we're talking about MVP races, you got the top two guys there battling for it. Tom's going for it. There's no question. Tom is going for it, but
I mean,
Justin is like,
it's not a matter of him going for it is the issue. It's whether or not people want to vote for him.
For Tom, that'd be that'd be sad. That'd be sad. But I won't dwell on that.
Hey, I'm just
Um,
telling you exactly what's going to go on.
no, it's a big time fact. Obviously, um, potential comeback player of the year.
No, he's the comeback player of the year. He's the comeback player of the
Dak
year.
Prescott, 13 touchdowns, three interceptions so far. Obviously, they put up 40 points against those G-men, which, I mean, he drops those. I missed the G-men. So, I mean, they didn't respect it, right? They didn't respect it.
Of course not.
So he dropped a slot. But I think what they did here, Brady, Herbert, Dak, That's good. Number four, for the first time, I will say that I agree with Lamar Jackson being number four based on this past week's performance. 37 to 43, I mean, he had a big day, led the team back in OT. I mean, I'll say he deserves to be number four on this one.
I disagree with you. I feel like they shouldn't be. I feel like he shouldn't be rewarded for having to come back in that game
Um,
against a injury deprived Colts team.
so the last sentence is what I think makes it. He's fifth in Pro Football Focus's passing grade, fifth in passing yards, and eighth in overall rushing. Are you not entertained? That's
So
what
he's number
makes him
four
number
because he
four.
entertained us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He entertains us with great passing and running ability. And the fact that he threw such a great high percentage this past week, even though it was a comeback, and of course, team game. But I think because he dominated on prime time, they pushed him up to number four. I mean, let's look and see who you'd put above
I
him, though.
I will remember that hit number when we finish up our top five, and I'll tell you who should be in the top
Yes, yeah, you let me
five.
know. Number five here, we got Kyla Murray. This is a tough game, and we talked about this game, with the 49ers, and, you know, you said what, NFC West going to NFC West, right?
Yep.
And that's kind of what happened. So they put a blah game, to drop him for slots. Um, But I mean, he's still having a great season 15, 12, 1,512 yards, 10 passes, 10 touchdowns, four interceptions. Against, like I said, 49ers, tough, really tough. Um, Number six, Patrick Mahomes, who, a lot of people are just, not really ragging on him, but ragging on the Chiefs as a whole. Um, 1490, 16 touchdowns, six interceptions. I don't think people are, I mean, 16 touchdowns and you're losing. It's pretty amazing, but the six interceptions probably is what's um, most stands out because I'm so used to him just like being really, really efficient.
Yep.
I'm not sure if maybe defenses have just figured it out at this
No, they just
particular
follow
point.
the Buccaneers game plan for the Super Bowl,
So I don't really think every team has the personnel.
which I agree with.
Right. I mean, because we were all over the place that game. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, we were all over the place. Um, but I'm pretty interested. I would like to see if somebody does like a full breakdown of this Chiefs.
I
I,
I mean, I would love to see if there's a YouTuber out there that does full breakdown
yeah,
of it.
like what's going on with the Chiefs,
Yep.
But nonetheless, we got number seven. We got Derek Carr, who stays at number seven. But of course, everything is going to be about John Gruden, right? Um, but does Derek Carr deserve to stay at number seven? I don't think so. Um, if we could talk about somebody dropping, it probably would be him. Not too far, but maybe one or two slots.
I can agree with that.
You know, um, yeah, maybe one or two slots, especially below the number eight person, Josh
And this is the
Allen,
person
who
who I think should be in the top five.
see, it's tough because
Because just
you
like you
know
said, it's prime time.
it's prime time. I did say
And
that. I did say that. I don't
it's
think he should be
against the
number
reigning defending AFC
AFC champions. Yeah,
champions.
yeah. But it does say here, Allen delivered his best game of the season in prime time against the Chiefs, which should help everyone forget his first two erratic weeks. Remember, he did have some two rough weeks, and we were like, "What's going on?" And then they came out and just started like, pew, 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 firing on all cylinders, right? Running, jumping over people, right? And that was entertaining on prime time. But I would say he should be a bit above Derek Carr at this point, probably above Patrick Mahomes. I probably would put him either at five or six. Um, it's really tough. Again, We're going based off of what Lamar did, his accuracy, his ability to lead, rally the troops. I would say Kyla Murray, his performance was kind of lackluster. Patrick Mahomes obviously lost the game. So yeah, I probably would put him at number 5 and move everybody down. Um, just like number 9, I'm interested to see how they left Russell Wilson in the top 10, where he didn't really,
Do anything.
yeah. I mean, he was playing pretty well before, but I guess they just left him there. Like they were like, we're not even gonna really touch it, But next week, I expect him to just be, down intentional grounding style, right?
Yep.
Right. And then you got Aaron Rodgers at number 10. Um, we had a interesting game against the Bengals,
I
right?
think he's still being penalized for his week 1.
It's not that Rodgers is playing poorly since that gnarly week 1. He's just not at his MVP level. I mean, 1,241 yards, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I mean,
I mean,
it's
that means
not
that the run game is working. Like,
right, right. And I'll say this
like
for a
these
guy,
indexes, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't expect
true.
them to be giving godly numbers and
For a
have all these
guy,
high stats. Like they're winning.
yeah, no, you're right. I would say this for a guy who missed all of the summer, right?
Hmm.
All of the off season, pretty much most of the off season workouts. I think he got there, freaking in August. Like a guy who missed most of the freaking workouts and everything to come out here and throw for almost 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions so far. I mean, I think that's pretty good. Um, so I'm not 100% sure what this is about, but anybody below top 10 that you think should move up? I don't
No,
think
not
so.
yet. No.
Yeah. I mean, Matthew Stafford kind of fell out, you know, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has been climbing. He's just been climbing,
Yeah, I think their
run
passing
by
game
run.
gotten a little bit better now
Yeah,
compared to
but
like the
we're
first 2 weeks of the season. But I really feel
yeah,
like
but
they're still dinging Aaron Rodgers for that week 1 loss to the
man, that's
Saints,
rough. That's rough. I
and I
mean,
don't think
and
that's fair.
again, and again, this was against the Bengals, and I think this is also some disrespect to the Bengals.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah, so he stays at 10 though, and we kind of move on from there. But I don't know. That's kind of crazy. But Johnny, let's move on to these predictions really quickly.
Sure.
Obviously, we both nailed the Bucks beating the Eagles. I said by 3 or 4 or something, and it wound up being 6, but that's okay. We'll take the dub. But we got the battle. Oh, we don't. Don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. Why did? You know what?
Yeah, we do.
Never
We
mind.
have Battle of Florida.
That's what it is. That's what it was. It was. You know what? I sent you a post, and I think it said who will get their first win between the Lions and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And for some reason, I thought they played each other. But I think Jacksonville has a better opportunity of beating Miami than Detroit does of beating Cincinnati. I'm gonna say that Jacksonville gets their first W against Miami.
I'm gonna think the Dolphins get a win.
Boom. Kansas City fixes their woes and beats the Washington football team.
I agree.
The Rams slay the Giants.
Yeah, that's easy.
Ooh, this one is a trap. Houston versus Indianapolis. Ooh, that is no good there, Johnny. The way Houston started their game last week was so fantastic. The way Indianapolis started last week was so fantastic. Um, Let me click it or take it, right? Oh my God, the Texans are so doo doo. Paper. I'm gonna go with the Colts.
I'll go with the Texans.
Yeah, I really want to go with the Texans, but I'll go with the Colts. I'll give them the hometown, whatever.
I mean, the Colts
Um,
might end up losing, but I'll just go with the Texans.
I understand. So we'll go here, Cincinnati versus Detroit. I think I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. I think it depends on if Joe Burrows is playing. I think that's the part because I know he got like hit in the throat or something.
Yeah, but
Um,
they said he might end up playing, so I'm gonna go with
okay,
Bengals as well too.
Bengals. And I don't even know who their backup is, honestly, but I guess it doesn't matter. Green Bay. This should be a good one. Green Bay versus Chicago. It's always been a really good game.
Chicago.
Chicago. I'm gonna go with Green Bay though.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Green Bay.
Yeah, should be
It may
interesting.
it may end up being closer than it seems.
Yeah, potential game of the week here. Two back to back. Green Bay and Chicago should be great. The Chargers versus the Ravens should be box office.
It should be. Who you
I
got?
think if I think if anybody can do it, it'd be the Chargers. I feel like um, I'm gonna go with the Chargers. It's a tough one, but I think I'm gonna go with the Chargers on this one. Go Chargers, go!
I'm gonna stick with the Chargers too.
Yeah. We got Minnesota versus Carolina. Both teams are kind of scary. Um, that's a tough one. I hate it. My mind is telling me to go with Minnesota.
I am
I'm gonna
going
go
with
with
Minnesota.
yeah. I'm gonna go with my mind. Even though the Panthers have the number two defense, I just feel like they
It's the offense that's the problem.
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikings here. We got the 5-0 Arizona Cardinals versus the Cleveland Browns. The Browns on paper are playing so well. Number five in offense, number four in defense, number 25 in passing, but number one in rushing. Going against a Cardinals team that's, 7-12, 7-9. Um, I think it's going to be a great game, but I think with that 49ers game they just played, and won, I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
Same here. They'll be 6-0.
Yep. The Las Vegas Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. This is for, you know, I guess see what happens post Gruden, right? See what happens. I don't know what Denver's doing. They're 3-2, which is great for them. But I think I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
I'm gonna go with a bold claim.
Oh,
I'm gonna say this is gonna turn out to be a tie.
wow! I like it though. I like it. That's awesome. A tie. Dallas Cowboys versus the New England Patriots.
Cowboys.
Yeah, them boys. I think New England's gonna have a great plan, but I don't think they have the weapons just yet to really compete.
No.
Um, but we'll see. We got Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aside, I'm actually gonna go with the Seahawks, which is very crazy, but I think Geno will get the win.
I'll go with the Yinzers and the Steelers.
I understand. The Buffalo Bills versus the Tennessee Titans. Titans are a scary team. I'm gonna go with
They're
Buffalo.
scary, but I'm sticking with Buffalo.
I say scary, I mean like inconsistent scary. Woo. Oh crap, I wooed. But anyway, Buffalo versus Tennessee. I'm gonna go with Buffalo as well.
I just want you to know
But
we also did the Monday night predictions before we was
that's
did.
okay. I can always just you know
Nope,
that's
it's
on me.
fine. We're live, pal.
Yeah. What we'll do is we will let's do something that we've never done before. Let's do WNBA Game 3 predictions. We got the Phoenix Mercury going to Chicago. You're out of there. You're out of there. The Sky. Yes, Ace Ventura reference. Game
Wow.
3 tie. Series is tied 1-1. Oh, because I said
Look,
Chicago.
just keep talking.
Johnny, who do you got?
I'm gonna go and stick with the Windy City
Ooh.
and say the Chicago Sky is going to win tonight.
And let me just double check here. So this is a best of 5, right?
Yes.
Hmm. I'm gonna say the Chicago Sky win as well. Um, I think they play really well game 2, and I just think that they're gonna
Now,
go ahead and
I'm not saying the series is going to end in 4, but it will be 2-2 by the time they head back to Phoenix.
I don't think so. I think Phoenix allowing them to win one on their home floor was probably the biggest mistake they could have made, and they could very well in this series. I think Chicago will win both games at home, and then Phoenix will win one, and then it'll be over. It'll be
That's
over.
fair.
But Johnny, let's take a quick break. We just got a few more things to cover, and then we'll wrap this show up. B. That's right, Prof. We're back. I know we usually tell you that we know that you heard this podcast on your favorite podcast platform, but we're not just there yet. Right now, we got to talk a little bit about the association and Benny, 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 ding, 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 Benny and the
Yep,
Nets.
he got the tech. He was waiting for it this whole time.
I was, I was, and that's all
The
right.
worst part is I told him yesterday that if he does that, he's gonna get a tech.
Oh yeah, you did, bro. It's all good. I believe that I deserved it on that one, and that's quite all right. We got Ben Simmons, we got the Nets, we got some news, we got some drama. Ben Simmons returns to the 76ers after a standoff. Citing that he wasn't going to play for those bums anymore. He, you know,
I don't
didn't
think he
like
said.
them.
I don't think he called
Get
them
me out of
bums.
here. I'm tired of this city. I don't want no more freaking cheesesteaks.
Okay,
I'm the
Doc,
best dang player
you're
on this team.
you're going real Skip Bayless right now. We need you to calm it down.
But he went back. And obviously Doc Rivers trying to keep it together like most coaches. Like I know I would, right? One of my players was like, I don't want to play here no more, even though I've told myself that I would never, ever, 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 never, ever try and keep a player on my team that didn't want to play for me. Um,
I mean,
obviously,
I feel like Ben has some plight due to what Doc said at the end of this series that they had
right,
too. Like,
right.
I feel like this whole roller coaster has been just a big divorcing that just turned ugly.
No, I get it. I
You
get
know,
it.
you say, well, Doc shouldn't want Ben to come back. Well, Ben should want to come back either. As your coach, basically blame you.
Mm.
Whether it's true or not is relative. It's just completely subjective.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean, and honestly, he's a good player, and that's the thing about it. Like, honestly, it's going to be one of them situations where he goes to another team and you see him open up and like he takes more jumpers and he takes more threes and you know it's going to be interesting when his game thrives because like you see all the games in the gym and you see him doing these different things and people are like yo he can really shoot like you
Yeah, he
guys
can
don't believe
shoot.
it but he can really shoot and they'd be like well why doesn't he shoot because and I think in this offense I don't think it's his role to shoot his role is to be a distributor but
Doc, this
um
is a situation of when the media tries to push the way that you play the game that you love.
True.
Because
That's true.
before people started talking about, man, how come Ben Simmons doesn't shoot? How come Ben Simmons doesn't shoot? We
Hmm.
talk about Ben Simmons being a top 5 NBA player.
Right. No, right. I mean, he's
And
really he can
once
play.
someone started talking about it, that's all they're talking about. How come Ben's not shooting? And the crowd's going wild when he shoots a three. Why is he not shooting? Because they're comparing him to all these other point guards who are
Hmm.
bombing 40-foot jumpers.
Right. Right.
Well, why Ben Simmons not doing this? Steph is doing this. Dame is doing this. Well,
True.
he's not Steph and Dame.
He's really not. And I think when the I think when the 76ers drafted him, they knew that he wasn't that type of player. But he's a great I mean, he's great at attacking the rim. I think his game has improved tremendously. Um, I don't know. I just feel like this is a situation where we have the media, like you said, roasting him, especially after those free throws, right?
Yeah,
That was a big thing, the free throws, which people miss free throws all the time, right? You never said, "Hey, this guy's a free throw machine." I mean, he's still a forward, right? A forward in a guard's body, right? And not all forwards shoot free throws. Maybe this time away from the game, he did nothing but shoot free throws. We don't know. Maybe he's going to
we've
increase
seen
his.
stuff like that happen.
Oh yeah, remember people changed their shooting mechanics. They changed their arm. Like, hey, I'm gonna shoot with my left hand for free throws. Right? We've seen people do underhanded free throw shots. Like so. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see his percentage go up, maybe 5 to 7, 5 to 10%, and I mean that's an improvement. But for me, if I'm a team and I'm looking for somebody to come in and be a distributor, then I would look to bring him in. Not saying that I want him in, Houston, but I mean, I wouldn't say no either.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
know, you pair him with, some of the guys that we have. I mean, I just don't want to give up anybody. And I know Daryl Morey, that bum, that Judas, that Benedict Arnold, since we are talking about Benedicts yesterday, that guy right
He went
there,
with the
that's
Benedicts, but he totally forgot about the whole. You know what? We're gonna move on, folks. Keep going, bro.
exactly, exactly. But that just popped in there like a freaking Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, brother. But yeah, I mean, I would take him. I just know, Daryl Morey is asking for too much. And the crazy thing about it is, like, it's so funny that a guy who clearly said, I don't value draft picks, is asking for multiple draft picks for Ben Simmons.
Multiple number 1 draft picks for Ben Simmons.
Right. And we're just like, Daryl, that's not really your style. You're more of a, player
And
and
remember what I
prospect.
said as soon as they lost to Atlanta in the playoffs. I literally
Which is
said
sad.
his trade value has plummeted.
Yeah, right. And then
And
you
if they
go on
wanted
and
to move him before then, it would have
right,
been at the trade deadline. That was the most opportune time to do so.
right, right. And so we got that situation. Obviously, then there's the other situation. It's just a little bit down 95, right? And
Northbound
crossing over
95.
that bridge, yeah, cross over that bridge and head over to Brooklyn, where Kyrie says, "Man, I don't want to get vaccinated." And I shouldn't be punished for not wanting to get vaccinated, especially if you're telling me it's a choice,
Choice is
right?
subjective.
Right. And it's like if you're telling me it's a choice, and I'm telling you I'm choosing that I'm choosing no, I'm choosing that I don't want it. Why is it, why am I having an issue? Especially if everybody else is vaccinated, right? And we talked about this, and it's a conversation I'm sure that happens around among multiple you know, locker rooms. Heck, I had the conversation with the maintenance man here, like, hey, I'm so tired of wearing masks. And I was like, yeah, well, we gotta do what we gotta do. Are you vaccinated? I am, but you know, you want to do the responsible thing.
Yep.
And this isn't a dig, but I feel like this I wouldn't even say this country, the world, bro. The world finds a way. every day to separate from other people. So it's like, you're born, then it's like you're a boy or a girl, right? Immediately. Oh my God, it's a boy. Boom, you're separated, right? Then it's like, oh my God, you're black. Okay, boy, black, right? Then it's like, then you start getting older, right? And it's like, oh my God, you have a nice smile, or you have, curly hair, or you have, brown eyes, whatever. Like, so it's like every day there's a new reason to be separate. It's like, it's not just I'm a human being anymore, right? It's never been that. It's like every day, you know, we won't even get into everything else. But now we got, let me add this to the menu. What shall we have today? Oh, I'll take the unvaccinated versus vaccinated today for 300, Rogers, right? So so it's like it's so weird. It's like, hey, the people versus Kyrie Irving, vaccinated versus unvaccinated. Go. Let's talk about this for 3 weeks. It's ridiculous.
And it got even worse because people started putting out stories saying Kyrie's going to end up retiring, so he's not going to be able to
Oh
play.
my god.
The insanity of it all.
He's like, don't believe that crap. What the heck, Johnny? So I mean, I'm seeing here, obviously Kevin Durant and James Harden and some of the other guys are like, that's his choice, right? It's been his choice. The thing with Kyrie is that, he, I feel like he's always at the center of the wrong attention. Whenever he goes somewhere, whether it's Boston or, whether it's Cleveland, like, I feel like he's been the center of the wrong, like the media. Like once Kyrie gets into something, the media is all over it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. But I'm pretty sure that there are others who don't want to take the vaccine. And I even go as far as to say, I think it was Shaq, or no, it was Perkins. Oh, it was Kendrick Perkins
Oh
who
boy.
said, if Kyrie wants to find a reason to take the vaccine, just go ask Carl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, Perk, you didn't have to say it like that.
He said it exactly like that.
And I'm just like, but Carl Anthony Towns is like, bro, like, you don't want to be used like that, like I get
Nope.
it, because people, and that's the thing about it, because people who've gotten the vaccine have this false sense of security also,
Of course they do.
you know, and we saw that Iowa game last week, people storming the field, and my wife and I were watching it, and she's like, oh my God, look at those people. And she was like, they just can't, people just can't stay home, and
I mean, not even just storming it, it's even more than that.
mm,
Like, it's just how many people are actually in the stadium.
they're packed too. No mask, no nothing. It was nuts, absolutely nuts. Uh, so yeah, I'm interested to see how this story ends. I hope Kyrie obviously doesn't, fold. He sticks to his guns. Like, if it's a choice.
Even if he doesn't play a single game this year, he'll still make around $19 million unless they decide to screw with his contract.
Well, I know that they're not going to discuss an extension with him, right? I mean, that's the
I
one
mean,
thing, right?
that's the team's prerogative. They don't have to do that. They're
Right.
like how many times
But
have we seen, team just say, yeah, we're not gonna resign him.
but the timing, of course, is where it really comes down to. It's like, hey, now we're not going to talk about it. Just like we talked about yesterday with Colin Kaepernick, and I was like, if a
Exactly.
team signed Colin Kaepernick
Like
now,
it's all about when it's convenient to the team. Like the team is a
right?
business still.
Yeah, it's
They
nuts,
don't
man.
they
It's
don't
absolutely nuts.
have to do anything.
They
They
don't.
do it because they feel like it's the most beneficial thing to the team.
Right.
This isn't
Right.
a judgment of, life choices, but unfortunately, choices have consequences.
This is true. This is damn
Whether
true.
it's good or bad, choices have consequences. But
I
for
can
the
agree.
for the absolute mind-boggling narrative that's been taking place that completely confuses both myself and Doc,
Big time,
it
Doc.
it goes from a business decision to, well, my choices have impact on all these people's lives,
Right.
and I still want to be able to play the games that I love, but we're gonna act like stuff hasn't been happening for the past 22 months.
Right. 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 And that's the thing that's crazy about it. And like I said, I understand, and I think a lot of people are like, oh, you should, telling
Well,
him to do his research
the
and,
the problem is people don't come up with their own opinions. They just start saying
oh
things and
God.
come
And we
coming
talked
down. And we talked about with the Colin Kaepernick situation.
about that. We talked about Dave Chappelle. Like this,
Dave
this has been the
Chappelle.
whole theme of the week has been people not
No,
forming their own opinions.
exactly.
The whole week.
And
Oh
we're
my
not
God.
on. We're not coming up here on a pulpit trying to tell you to think
No.
the other way. No, think for yourselves. Do your
Think for
research and then come
yourselves.
up with your own opinion,
Because it's like,
please.
watch the special, listen to Kyrie directly, like
Listen to what he
watch,
has to say instead of what
yeah.
other people are trying to interpret what he says.
Because I didn't get the vaccine until I knew, number one, that I wouldn't be compromised, my wife wouldn't be compromised, like, because there wasn't enough information. So it's like you can't just take something in your body. We don't know health wise what's going on with Kyrie, where he might not be able to take vaccines. He might, his vaccine history, because I know I don't do the flu shot, and that's another thing. Oh, you don't take a flu shot? Oh God, you're gonna get sick, and it's
And
like,
again, it's all
I just
these stigmas.
it's right. Like, you don't get the flu shot? No, I don't. The flu shot literally gives you the flu. I don't have time for that. And I would say if I had to get a COVID vaccine every year, eventually, and it's like, if I feel myself get sick after getting one of those COVID shots, like if they made it like an annual shot, eventually, like the flu shot, I would stop taking the COVID shot. Like what I'm saying? It would be very simple. Like, I'm gonna skip this one. I think I had a bad reaction last time. You know, gave me the Run DMCs. I don't want that. But Johnny, I know the people heard this
You are
podcast.
not ending it with that line. You are not ending it on that line.
Come on,
Finish it.
finish it. I know that people heard this podcast on their favorite podcast platform, but if they didn't, they can always go to our website at www.randmc.com. Just kidding, www.debateamongstfriends.com to review this episode as well as all the previous. Be sure to tune in next week as we go over Sunday's game, the WNBA, the news, the analysis, and the reads.
In the heat of the night.